Hello everyone. We have finished our last chapter, lines and triangles. In this class, we will be starting a new chapter called triangles. So it's very simple. You can see we have tri and angles, which means tri is nothing but three and angles are nothing but angles. So it basically means it is three angles. So there are a lot of triangles in the background. We will be seeing about what exactly is a triangle, and we will be studying different properties of a triangle. So yes, let's start with triangles. So as earlier I told, triangles are nothing but three angles. So this means three. So in order to have three angles, what should we do? This is a closed shape ABC, and here we have three line segments AB, AC and BC, which intersect at A, B and C, giving rise to three different angles. So it has three different intersection points. These are the intersection points, and three different angles and three different line segments. So triangle is a closed shape with three line segment intersecting at three different locations, giving rise to three different angles. So we have three sides, three angles, three vertices. So it's called triangle. So ABC is a triangle. AB, AC and BC are the sides. Angle A, angle B and C are the angles that are formed due to the intersection at the points A, B and C, and A, B and C are called the vertices of the triangle. We have three sides of the triangle, three angles of the triangle and three vertices of a triangle. Based on two criteria, triangles can be classified into categories. So one of the way it can be classified is based on the side. So let's start with side. Based on side, there can be three different, as we know that has three different sides, so they can be equal, or if all three can be equal, then it is called an equilateral triangle. If only two sides are equal, then it is called an isosceles triangle. If none of them are equal, it is called a scalene triangle. So based on the sides, if all the three are equal, it's called an equilateral triangle. If only two sides are equal, it's called an isosceles triangle. If none of them are equal, it's called a scalene triangle. And then there is another way to classify triangles, that is based on the angles. So if all the angles that are formed due to the intersections are less than 90°, then it is called acute triangle. If one of them is 90°, then it's called a right triangle. If one of them is more than 90°, then it's called an obtuse triangle. So based on what angles are these classified? On 90°. So if it is less than 90°, all the angles are less than 90°, then it's called an acute angle. If one of them is 90°, it's called right angle. If one of them is more than 90°, it's called an obtuse triangle. So based on side, we have equilateral, isosceles, scalene. Biangle, we have acute, right and obtuse. So there can be chances when two of these concepts are combined. In case of right angle triangle, we can have these two sides equal. So it becomes an isosceles right angle triangle. And in case of an equilateral triangle, when we have three different sides are equal, we can have three different angles, or the three angles of this equilateral triangle to be less than 90°, and this can be called as an acute triangle as well, equilateral acute triangle. But usually all the angles of an equilateral triangle will also be equal, which we will be looking into, and where each angle will be equal to 60°. So each angle is 60°, basically less than 90°, so it will become an acute triangle. So equilateral triangle is also an acute triangle, while an isosceles triangle need not be a acute triangle. So we've learned what is a triangle, we have learned how to classify a triangle and how to name it. Now we will be learning some of the concepts called as median and altitude. So don't get scared. We have learnt line segments till now. So we will see how a line segment in a triangle can be classified as. So if this is a triangle, then dropping if A is the vertex and if D is the midpoint of opposite side of that vertex, then AD is called the median. So any line segment that is joining a vertex to the opposite side at the midpoint of that side, then it is called a median. So here AD is the median, BC is the side, A is the opposite vertex of BC, and D is the midpoint of BC. So line segment joining the midpoint of one side from the opposite vertex is called the median. So median is the line segment joining the vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side, or joining the midpoint of one side from the opposite side. So either way, that is called as median. Line segment joining the midpoint of one side from the opposite vertex. Got it? So we'll move on to altitude. Altitude is also a line segment, but this line segment meets the opposite side of the vertex at an angle making 90 degree. So based on what we have learned, we can see that median is based on the sides, the measurement of the side. So based on measurement and angle was the classification that we did. So based on side we get median, based on the angle that it cuts the opposite side we get an altitude. So if it cuts equally, or if the line segment from the opposite vertex meets the side at the midpoint of the side, then it is called a median. If it makes an angle of 90 degree but it's not a midpoint, but it makes an angle of 90 degree, then it's called an altitude. Another important property is that altitude is the height of the triangle. Okay, so in this example there can be many lines that can be drawn from the triangle, but there will be only one line that will be perpendicular to the base or the side of the triangle. So AL is perpendicular to BC, and AL is called the height or the altitude of this triangle. So there can be only one altitude for a triangle. So let's look into the definition. Altitude is the line segment which is drawn from one vertex of the triangle perpendicular to the opposite, also called as height of the triangle. So let's look into a problem. So this is our triangle PQ and R, and D is the midpoint. So QD is equal to DR. So PD is nothing but median, and PM is nothing but altitude because it cuts at 90 degree, and PD is the median because P meets D, or D is the median point, and the line segment PD cuts the side opposite to P at the midpoint. Okay, so we learned what is a triangle, the way to classify triangles, and we learned the line segments in the triangle are called as median and altitude, where median cuts the opposite side of the vertex at midpoint, while altitude cuts the opposite side of the vertex at 90 degree. So the first property that we will be studying is called the angle sum property of a triangle. The angle sum property of a triangle states that the sum of the angles of the triangle must be 180 degree. So given ABC is a triangle, the angle measurements of A, B and C must be equal to 180 degree. Let's prove that. It's a very simple proof and you can understand, and we'll be applying the concepts that we have learned so far. So BC is one of the sides. Let's take a line parallel to BC called the DE. Let's draw a line joining A. So DE is a line that is joining at A, which is parallel to BC. So it creates an angle 1 over here and angle 3 over here. So this is a transversal. AB is a transversal. So angle 1 and angle B will be the alternate interior angles of the transversal. But from the properties of lines and angles that we have studied, these two angles are equal. So angle 1 is basically equal to angle B. Same concept can be applied to this side as well. So AC is a transversal. So angle 3 and angle C must be equal. So angle 3 is equal to angle C. But we know that this is a straight line and all the angles over here must be equal to 180 degree. So angle 1 plus angle A plus angle 3 must be equal to 180 degree. But we know that B is nothing but 1 and C is nothing but 3. So we get angle A, B and C equal to 180 degree. So this is the concept. Let's see into it. So these are the statements and these are the reasons why this statement. So consider a triangle ABC and we have to draw a line DE parallel to BC, and then we know that it is a straight line. DE is a straight line, so all the angles over it must be 180 degree. So angle 1, angle A and angle 3 must be 180 degree. Angle 1 is equal to angle B because AB is a transversal cutting at A and B. So angle 1 equals B because of alternate interior property. Similarly, there is another transversal AC which makes angle 3 equal to angle C by alternate interior property concept. But we already know that 1 plus A plus 3 equals 180 degrees. So substituting these two, we get angle A plus B plus C equals 180 degree. So this is what we were supposed to prove and we have proven. So angle sum property of a triangle is nothing but the sum of the measurement of the angles of the triangles must be equal to 180 degree. Draw a line parallel to the one of the sides, then sum of the angles of the line that you have drawn parallel must be equal to 180 degree. By using the concept of transversal and alternate interior property, we can prove that the measure of these angles will be equal to 180 degree. Similar to this property, there is another property called exterior angle property. In this property, we will consider this angle ACD as the exterior angle for this triangle ABC. These two are the interior angles. So angle 1 and 2 are the interior angles. What we have to prove is that angle 1 and 2 when summed together must be equal to this. So an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of its interior opposite angles. So this is the exterior angle. The angles that are opposite to it are these two. So this is the exterior angle, these two are the interior angle. Sum of the opposite two interior angles must be equal to the exterior angle. Let's prove that. So we have only this angle. Now we will be including a line CE parallel to AB. So we get AC as a transversal and angle 1 and angle X must be equal because they are alternate interior angles. And also BC is a transversal, so this is CE and BA which are parallel to each other. So angle 2 must be equal to angle Y because they are corresponding angles. So F shape is corresponding angles, C shape is alternate interior angles if you remember the previous class. Angle 1 equals angle X, angle 2 equals angle Y. So x plus y is nothing but ACD, x plus y is nothing but 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is equal to ACD and hence the property. Let's go again. So we have a triangle ABC with two interior angles 1 and 2 that are opposite to an exterior angle ACD. And we have to prove the sum of the interior opposite angles is equal to its exterior angle. So exterior angle ACD is nothing but angles x plus y which is obtained by drawing a line CE parallel to BA. And based on the concept of transversal and alternate interior angles, 1 must be equal to x, and based on the transversal BC, AB and EC are parallel, so angle 2 is equal to angle y because they are corresponding angles. So angle x plus y is equal to angle 1 plus 2, but it is equal to angle ACT. That is the exterior angle property. From this exterior angle property, we can also derive the previous property that is the angle sum property. Let's look into it, how we do it. So we have come till here, angle 1 plus 2 is equal to angle x plus y, but angle x plus y and angle ACB, this is B, sorry, should be equal to 180 degree. So this entire thing must be equal to 180 degree. But angle x plus y are nothing but angle 1 and 2. So angle 1, 2 and this is equal to 180 degree. So these three are nothing but the angles of the triangle. So they are equal to 180 degree. Okay, let's study that in detail. So from exterior angle concept, we have angle 1 plus 2 is equal to 4. But from the straight line concept, we have angle 3 plus 4 equals 180 degree. But we know 4 can be substituted using angle 1 and 2. So angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 180 degree. So this is the exterior angle and these two are the interior angles. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 4. 3 plus 4 is equal to 180 degree, these two. But 4 is nothing but these two. So 3 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 180 degree, which is nothing but the angle sum property. So it can be proven in two ways, but this is the proof that you will have to learn. So using the concepts that we have learned so far, we will be solving few problems. So the first problem, there are two angles that are given and we have to find x. So x is the exterior angle to these two opposite interior angles. 65 plus 45 is nothing but 110. So this is 110. Let's move to the next question. So we have two angles 30 and 40. X is the exterior angle as usual. So it should be equal to sum of its opposite interior angles. So x is 70 degree. Okay, let's move to the next question. Here 115 is the exterior angle, x is the interior angle. So x plus 50 must be equal to 115, this one. So x is equal to 115 minus 50, which is nothing but 65 degrees. Moving on to the last problem of this section, we have x as an interior angle and 100 as the exterior angle. So 70 plus x must be equal to 100. So x is nothing but 30 degree. So here exterior angle is the one that you have to find. Here you have to find an interior angle. But all these problems use the concept of exterior angle property of a triangle. Okay, let's move on to next problem section. So we have a triangle ABC. We have to find x. We know from angle sum property that x plus 50 plus 60 is equal to 180 degree. So x is nothing but 180 minus sum of these angles, that is 110 degree. So x is nothing but 70 degrees. Next, so this is a higher level problem. You have to find x and y, but it is very simple. 80 and y are equal because they are vertically opposite angles. And then we have from angle sum property that y plus x plus 50 equals 180 degree. So this is 80, this is 50, these make 130. So x is equal to 50 degree. So y is equal to 80, vertically opposite angles, y plus x plus 50 this is the angle sum property. So we know y is 80 degree, so x is 180 minus 130, that is 80 plus 50. So x is nothing but 50 degrees. So here we solve x by adding all these three and equating to 180 degree. So we'll get x as 180 minus these two angles, and here we have to use the concept of vertically opposite angles and then find y, and from angle sum property of these we will be able to find x. Okay, so we have finished one part. Let's move on to the next part. We already studied what are equilateral triangles, if you remember from the first part. Equilateral triangles are nothing but those which have equal sides. So when a triangle has equal sides, it means the angles opposite to that are also equal. So for example, let's consider sides y and z are equal. So these two are equal. Angles opposite to that are these two angles. So we have to have them as equal. But in this case, all the three sides are equal, which means that all the three angles are equal. So x is equal to y is equal to c. But from angle sum property, we have x plus y plus c is equal to 180 degree. So we have 3x is equal to 180. So x is equal to 60. But x is equal to y, so all are equal. Once again, if two sides are equal, their opposite angles are also equal. But here three sides are equal, so all the angles are equal because opposite angles must be equal. Based on that, x, y, z are equal. Sum of them must be equal to 180 degree. These are the angles. Sum of the angles must be equal to 180 degree, angle sum property. So this is x, this is also x, this is also x, so this will become 3x. This is 3x equals 180 degree, so x is nothing but 60 degree. X is equal to y is equal to z is equal to 60. So all are equal. So this is also an acute triangle because all the angles are less than 90 degree, which I had mentioned in the first section. So these are some of the things. Here median and the 90 degree or the altitude will be equal. Okay, so in this case median is equal to altitude because here all the sides are equal. So when you draw a perpendicular line, it will intersect with the median. So median is equal to altitude. Okay, so isosceles triangle, as we had studied, only two sides will be equal. Here in this triangle, xc is equal to xy. So opposite angles to these are these two. So these two are equal. So angles which are equal are these two. Sides which are equal are xc and xy. Okay, so we have different triangles. So let's look into these triangles. What can you see? Observe. If you add any two sides, it is more than the third side. So all these are valid triangles. So 5 plus 8 is 13, which is more than 8. 8 plus 8 is 16, which is more than 5. 5 plus 8 again is more than 8. So every two sides when combined together is more than the third side. So let's check if that is the case in this triangle. 8 plus 6 is 14. Yes, more than 10. 10 plus 8 is 18, more than 6. And then 10 plus 6 is 16, which is more than 8. So every two sides when added together is more than the third side. So that is one of the properties of the triangle. Sum of lengths of two sides of a triangle, which states that the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. So sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. Okay, so let's go to problems. So the question is it possible to have a triangle with the given sides? The first one is 3, 6 and 9. So let's add. We have 3 plus 6, which is greater than or equal to 9. So we don't have greater than, rather we have equal to. And then 6 plus 9 is obviously more than 3, and 3 plus 9 is also more than 6. So we can have equal to, because uh, we can't have equal to, so this is not a valid triangle. Let's move on to the next example. Here 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, which is less than 6 basically, so this is also not possible. So in first case these two are equal to this, so it is not possible. We strictly need greater than. So any two sides must be greater than the third side, not equal to. So two of these sides, or in this problem two of these problems cannot be the possible sides of a triangle. Okay, given ABCD is a triangle, and we have to check if AB and then BC and then CD and DA greater than AC and BD. So basically the sum of the sides of the quadrilateral must be greater than the line segments AC and DP, which are called the diagonals of the quadrilateral. So these two are nothing but the diagonals. We have to check if the sides add together will be greater than the diagonals added together. So okay, let's move into the problem. So consider triangle ABD. So we know that according to triangle property, length of the triangle, sum of the lengths of the triangles of two sides must be greater than the third side. So we have to check on BD. So AD plus AB must be greater than BD. So that's what this says. Then consider triangle ABC. So we have ABC. Here AB and BC must be greater than AC. Then let's consider a triangle BCD or BDC. So BC plus CD must be greater than BD. And then the last ACD, where AD plus CD must be greater than AC. So we have totally 4 different triangles, 4 different equations, and let's add these. So let's add the left hand side, and then let's add the right hand side. So what do you observe here? Everything is AB is repeated twice, CD is repeated twice, DA is repeated twice, BC is repeated twice. Similarly on this side, AC is repeated twice and BD is repeated twice. So this is nothing but 2 into AB plus BC plus CD plus DA. Okay, so we have almost arrived at this part. On the right hand side we have AC plus BD, but into 2. So we can cancel the common 2's and we will arrive at what is given. Yes, so whatever given is true. We have sum of the sides greater than the sum of the diagonals. So given a quadrilateral split into 4 different triangles or any number of triangles that you see, and use the sum of the lengths of the triangle greater than the third side concept and try to prove the question statement. Okay, so the problem is the length of two sides of a triangle is 12 and 15. We have to find what measures the length of the third side will fall into. So we know that from the triangle property, given two sides x and y, this must be greater than the third side. But in order to find the range, we use another concept. So sum of the two sides is greater than the third side, and also sum of difference of the two sides must be less than the third side. So from this we have x minus y less than c, which is less than x plus y. So x plus y must be greater than the third side, but x minus y must be less than the side. So we have this rule. So this is the third side. It must be between the difference of the two sides and the sum of the two sides. So we are given 12 and 15. So substitute here. This is 15. This is 12. So we have 3. And here this is 12 and this is 15. So we have 27. So the third side can take any values between 3 and 27. So the third side can be 4, or it can be 20, or it can be 25. Any value, it can be any of the values between 3 and 27. So that's all for today. Let's meet in the next class.